The Google Pixel 8, a smartphone that I really want to recommend to all of you, but will I? That is exactly what you guys will find out in today's video. Now, the fact of the matter is that this phone, while having a lot of good things about it, does not catch up to the rest of the competition. Whether it is budget-wise or performance-wise, it really is a mixed bag. What's up guys, Anubhav here, and in today's video we'll be talking about whether the Google Pixel 8 is worth it, and I'll be sharing my own experience after 1 month of using it as my primary Android device. With that said, make sure you click on that like button, make sure you subscribe and mark all notifications so that you don't miss out on any other updates. Let's get started. Now, when I bought this phone a month ago, I had to pay 76,000 Indian rupees for it. And if you want to go ahead and buy it after watching this video, that is exactly what you will have to pay for this phone because the prices haven't gone down yet. Now, that price is super expensive for a phone of this capability, and let me explain why I am saying that. Now let's talk about the screen. So the Pixel 8 series obviously has two variants that have been launched. The Pixel 8, which is the one that I'm holding in my hand right now, and the 8 Pro, which is the bigger screen size that has got an extra telephoto lens and a couple of other features just on that 8 Pro. Now, honestly speaking, I actually prefer the size of this Pixel 8. It's got a very nice 6.2-inch display, as you guys can see, with a refresh rate of 120 Hz, supports HDR10+, along with 2000 nits of peak brightness. Now, the display on this phone is really good. I have been using it for a month as my daily driver, and keep in mind that I switched to it after using the S23 Ultra extensively, which, as you guys know, has one of the best smartphone displays on the market right now. And honestly, I did not feel much of a change. Colors are more natural and true to life compared to Samsung's more saturated and vivid look, but other than that, it's definitely a very good display. Another good thing about this phone is that you get to see Corning's Gorilla Glass Victus protection on the front as well, which is a good way to keep this phone really secure as well as protected from scratches and nicks here and there. Of course, this phone comes with Android 14, being a Pixel phone, and one of the main USPs that Google seemed to heavily rely on when they were marketing this phone and when it was being launched was that this is going to be the first Pixel series where Google is going to be providing 7 years of Android updates up to the year 2030. Now, that is a pretty big claim to make. And whether they actually end up giving us 7 years or not, again, is a separate conversation of itself. But it seems that if they get to do this, you'll get another year of update compared to Apple, which only provides 6 years of updates till now. Now, I have another follow-up question to that, and that is whether the Tensor G3 is powerful enough to keep up for 7 years of running the latest Android, and whether this project is not going to be cancelled like the thousands of other projects that Google has killed, which is bound to happen when you are that big a company working on that many projects at the same time. But then again, that is a separate question. For now, let's assume that you do end up getting 7 years of updates when you buy the Pixel 8. Other than that, of course, this time around you get to see the new Tensor G3 chipset, which is a 4nm based processor on the Pixel 8 series, which promises to be much more cooler and more efficient than the G2. Now, I have made a bunch of short form videos as well as an impressions video on this phone already, and on that I noticed 3 main questions that you guys seem to be asking about, so let me answer that in this video. The first question was there any heating issues? Yes, the Tensor G2 was notorious in the previous year's Pixels for getting a lot of heating issues and basically soft locking you from doing whatever it is you were doing. Whether you were taking sort of 4K videos outside in harsh daylight, the phone would give you a warning and say, hey, don't do that because the phone is overheating. Or if you were doing very high-end gaming for prolonged periods, it would just shut down because of an overheating problem. And all these issues really became a very big problem for anybody who was going to consider a Pixel phone to be their primary device. Now, I am happy to say that after using this phone as my daily driver for a month, never did once I face any of these issues where the phone gave me an overheating warning and therefore soft locked me into something that I wanted to do on the phone. Yes, full disclosure, when I was setting this phone up for the first time, it did get a little warmer than I would have liked it to get, but that is completely normal when you're setting the phone up for the first time, and beyond that, the phone does not have a tendency to overheat, at least in my testing. So let me clear that once and for all. This phone will not give you an overheating warning and stop you from doing what you are doing. What it might do is run a little hotter compared to like normal phones in day-to-day use. I have seen that it does get a little warm to the touch every now and then, but it doesn't hinder your experience at all. So if you're wondering about heating issues, don't worry about that, because that is not something you will face. That will be a very big flaw in your Pixel 8 ownership. The second question that a lot of people asked me about, that again I never faced, was call dropping as well as network issues. Now of course this depends on a lot of different situations based on where you live, what is the network connectivity in your area, what kind of service provider do you have. But just to answer all your questions, I use this phone with Jio 5G SIM and I never faced any dropped calls or any network issues in my locality, in my area. So again, this will be different for everyone, but I'm just giving you guys my experience. I didn't face these issues that a lot of you asked me about, so I am telling you what the entire situation is. The third thing, again, I knew this question was gonna come up. When you spend so much money on a phone, how is the performance? Now, as we all know, the Tensor G3 is not aimed to be a smartphone that gives you blazing fast gaming performance or multitasking performance compared to, let's say, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. So this is an AI forward chipset based on machine learning, and it is aimed at a different direction rather than raw performance. You can see that in the benchmarks. I don't really believe in benchmarks because I rely more on real life and real world testing. But yes, when you do normal things on the phone like multitask, watch a lot of YouTube videos or open the camera, the performance is great. Even gaming is pretty good. But yes, if you do want to run games at their highest resolutions with the highest graphics settings and you want an absolutely smooth frame rate, then this is not the right phone for you. At this price point, there might be other phones. In fact, there are other phones that are better in performance as well as gaming. So go with those, not with this, because this is not meant to be a phone that is used as a gaming or a high performance device, which is something that I understood after using this phone. So if you want to do gaming on this phone, you'll definitely get a smooth frame rate if you rely on medium or slightly high settings. But if you want full gaming experience, this is not the phone for you. Other than that, performance is rock solid. I really enjoyed using the phone, and opening and closing apps, multitasking, recording videos, watching Netflix, everything is super seamless, no lags at all. Now next, I want to highlight one of the main problems that I felt with this phone, and something that I was not expecting at all. But of course, this review would not be honest if I don't tell you about the issues that I faced. The fact of the matter is that the Pixel 8 hangs and crashes a lot. Not in the way you're thinking, not a performance-based hang, but a software-based issue. Opening up apps sometimes would just not open them. When I open something, it would just display the wallpaper and not open. The UI, the operating system itself, Android in itself starts hanging, which is really weird because this is the way Android is supposed to be. It's not running on extra skins like One UI or Color OS or Oxygen OS that will, add more clutter to the UI and therefore cause these issues. These issues are happening only in stock Android, which is really weird, and all of these things I'm sure can be fixed with a software update. But currently I faced a lot of jitters, a lot of lag, and a lot of crashes, random crashes, force closing apps and stuff while using the phone, which really for a 76,000 rupees phone should not be happening at all. Alright, now that you know about the performance issues as well as a couple of questions that you guys asked me about, let me talk about something that all of you are interested in when you watch a video about a Pixel phone, and that is the camera. Now, I've already done an impressions video where I talk about the individual cameras and their specifications, so feel free to watch that from this link if you want to know the details. But let me show you a couple of photo samples and tell you what I think about the Pixel 8's camera setup. Okay, so photos from the Pixel 8 are in one word, accurate. accurate. Now, I've compared this phone with the iPhone 15. You can watch that comparison as well. And what I could find out was that if you want the most accurate looking photos from a smartphone, a Pixel phone is as close as you will get. Now, I say this because the white balance in most of the photos that I took were bang on to what the actual white balance was in that situation. Colors are also super accurate and super true to life. Sometimes the photos might look a bit over sharpened given Pixel's nature to add that HDR effect on their photos, but overall the photos that come out of this phone are extremely sharp. Portrait mode is really good and I absolutely love the photos that this phone takes out. For anyone, I can safely say this, that for anyone who wants a smartphone primarily for photography, you will not go wrong with the Pixel 8 at all. Now, video is a different ballgame altogether. In smartphone, the Pixel 8 can do up to 4K 60 FPS video. It has got gyro EIS and it can record in 10-bit HDR. Now, videos are good, but they are definitely not up to iPhone standards, at least iPhone 15 or iPhone 14 standards, where the stabilization is just so much more superior. And therefore, if smartphone video is something that is going to be your primary camera experience, once again, the Pixel 8 might not be for you. Let's talk about battery and charging now. So the Pixel 8 comes with a 4575 mAh battery and charges at a peak speed of 27 watts. It can also charge up to 18 watt wirelessly and has reverse charging as well. Now the charging was pretty okay. It's not super fast, not super slow. I think it's just okay. And the battery of this phone was actually pretty good. I used to get regularly 5 to 6 hours of screen on time on normal usage that included Instagram, YouTube and WhatsApp and more social media apps. Not a lot of gaming, so I can understand that you'll get more than 1 day of usage if your usage is like mine or a little less than that. But if you really do a lot of gaming and a lot of videos as well, then you might just end up killing the battery in one single day. But overall, super okay and super normal, good battery life experience. Conclusion time. The fact of the matter is that the Pixel 8 is a really great phone that I want to recommend. It's got a great in-hand feel, overall very premium smartphone experience, great cameras, and of course a very nice display as well. But the lags, the crashes, all the things that I faced in its current state, along with the fact that this phone is not going to be a very high performance based phone for most of you out there, and I know that you guys want a great performance based phone, especially at this price point, you're better off going with other phones like, let's say, the iPhone 15 or even the likes of the Samsung Galaxy S23. With that said, this is my Pixel 8 review. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Will you buy it? If you will, why? And if you won't, why again? Drop your comments in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. This is Anubhav signing out. I'll catch you guys next time. You guys have a great day. Stay safe and bye-bye. Peace out.